Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second round of MSRL League Racing here in the F1 games. We are here for season number 7 and round number 2. We are heading to Miami Grand Prix in line with the real life Grand Prix as well this weekend, Nick. For us though, it's going to be a reverse grid sprint and followed by a 50% race. So after round 1 has concluded, so we know the championship order as of now. And a few drivers definitely missed out their few races. Reserve drivers will start at the back of the grid. We have one driver serving their quali band. So it's all mixed up for the sprint race today, right? And then it's going to be normal grid order for the main race later. So we are heading into the lobby now. We have given drivers 10 minutes of practice session just to get familiarized, acclimated to the session. And before we go there, what's your take on this track, Nick? Because I know it's not really been welcomed by so many people. Some like it. I'm somewhere in the middle with this. What about you?
Honestly, I have not really driven this track. Actually, never seen this track at all. Actually, missed any sort of live race that any sessions that I've seen in real life of this track. And also looking at the track map, it's a bit unconventional. I know there are some controversial areas in this track that is very tight. I see from the track map itself, Sector 3 from 13, 14, and 15 is going to be very challenging for the drivers. But I'm going to stay optimistic coming into this. It has mixed feelings. Seems like it's going to be good for racing. So we'll just hopefully have a good race tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And I think drivers will definitely find that part a little bit difficult, right? That Mickey Mouse section, as they call it, the middle sector is twisty. The slowest part of the track actually, and the tightest part. It's all single file along there, and going too wide there, it's not exactly the most optimal thing to do. You can lose upwards of half a second to 1 second going side by side, and that's really some crucial lap time that can be lost here. Downforce wise, it's a bit of a split here because there are long straights where you want to maximize your top speed, but at the same time, because this track is such a low grip track, being a street circuit partially, right? And although it's a purpose-built racetrack over here, they said there is a little bit of grip issues on this track in this game at least. So that's definitely going to cause drivers a little bit of concern whether they want to go for high downforce or low downforce. We'll see the benefits of high downforce here in Sector 1, where it's all high speed and there's good long corners here where you can make use of the downforce, but immediately followed by the long straights here. Oh, as he really going wide there. And it is practice, so it's best to get used to the grip conditions now itself. And here's one of the first long straight. Probably you can call it the first DRS zone of the track, right? And then here it comes, turn whatever it is. I keep forgetting the names, but thank you for reminding. Turn 11, turn 12, 13. This is the slowest part of the track, but if you have fresh tires, you can literally make moves around the outside here, and that's probably one of the best feeling you can get. And here you go, on the exit of this Mickey Mouse chicane onto the long back straight. We might see a few crashes in that section. The exit zone is pretty tricky to nail, especially when your tires are starting to wear down, or even in qualifying when you're trying to push over the limit just a little bit extra. And here we go, another overtaking hotspot, the second DRS zone around here, into the hairpin here, get the inside line or around the outside like Hider is doing to get a better run coming out of the last corner for a hot lap. And then your third DRS zone, which leads into the main straight here.
Yeah, it's very interesting, especially Sector 2, right? Just now you see turn 12 with a very long right-hander. It reminds me of Hanoi, which is in and of itself very annoying when your tires are starting to degrade and you just really try to get every ounce of grip you have. It's going to be very interesting to see if drivers are going to mess it up to have effect on their next couple of corners. As I said just now, 13, 14, 15, 16. The entire whole very short complex of corners there in Sector 2 is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very challenging for the drivers, and hopefully we see some action there, but obviously we don't wish for drivers to crash out, but we'll have to see how the drivers cope with the loss of grip as the session goes on.
Yeah, and it is a reverse grid sprint for the folks who are watching here. It is a 10 minutes practice session to get used to this session because, sometimes you have wheel issues, PC issues and whatnot, which happens in the game, as I'm hearing myself over the phone once again. Apologies for that if you heard that. Double voice. Yeah, but it 10-minute session, get used to it, and then we proceed to a reverse grid sprint, right? So there is going to be action for sure, Nick. You asked for it, there is going to be session. You can say, these reverse grid sprints are sort of rigged races, right? Because you force the entire grid to be reversed, and that's going to encourage drivers to make up positions early on in the sprint. And, if you miss it, you have a second chance in the main race as well to make up the positions. But any track position that you gain in the sprint will carry on into the main race. That's now how the real life regulations are anymore, of course. In the F1 23 game, we are still following the previous year's sprint system. So, well, we'll stick with that and make it fun as much as we could.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. We'll see how it goes. So far we don't see much feedback in terms of drivers from the reverse grid, but of course we are a very casual league race, so it'll be. I'm glad that the drivers are not not receptive of the reverse grid format that we have, and I'm kind of hoping for the reverse grid to give us some action, actually, especially for the faster drivers, to see how they work their way through the grid, as well as it's just a good opportunity for newer drivers or slower drivers to hone their defending skills that might help them in the future.
Yeah, exactly. And that's pretty much what we like to see, drivers improving from one race to another, season to season. Speaking of which, we have some driver movements as well between race 1 and 2. We spoke about a driver who really improved quite a lot from last season, which was Elia. Unfortunately, because he has some real life sports commitment, so he has pulled out of virtual sports, so which is again, a commendable thing. Real life sports, get healthy and whatnot. So he has been replaced by our defending champion Sharis, who was third in the reserves list, and he made it through, and that means he's going to be able to give it a shot for his championship defense. And on the other side as well, in the Alpine Garage, we had Cameron who signed up, but unfortunately, again, due to work, we are getting into that age where work starts to collide with our on-track commitments here. So Cameron had decided to go back into the reserves, and he's been replaced by Rono. And Rono had a good race in the first one, a pretty good qualifying because of the rain interrupted qualifying session, but unfortunately because of a spin or two that we saw, and he didn't really have the best race. Fortunately for him, because it is a reverse grid championship, a reverse grid race here in the sprint, he will be starting in P3, I believe, so that should give him plenty of points, a good haul of points, Nick. And what would you do if you're starting that high up in the grid and you have a good shot of winning the sprint race at the very least?
I'll definitely try to make it as clean as possible. At the end of the day, we should also remember that sprint race is considered a qualifying race. We don't want to fight too hard on the positions. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that we are stable, we are consistent, to make sure that we get a position for the main race event. Or else, if you have any sort of risk that you have taken that might end up having you DNFing the session, you might just put yourself back into the back of the grid, which is not what you really want in a sprint race.
Yeah, exactly. Pole position will be dictated by whoever wins the sprint race, because, well, frankly, there's no other qualifying going on, so we have to make up something, right? Or at least that was how it was done back in 2022 real life season as well. Whoever won the sprint race, that was considered pole. And there was a little bit of backlash in real life, but in here we make the rules, right, Nick?
It's all about having fun,
Quite literally, yeah. I mean, yeah, you have the the typical rule sets of a sprint and a main race, or you have a short qualifying and a 50% race, which is the most common and comfortable race distance for those F1 lovers here. And
Maybe
occasionally,
for you guys.
well, okay. Occasionally we like to spin it up, with a different point system. We have all 20 drivers receiving points as long as you are a classified finisher, right? You finish 90% of the race, and you get points from 20 for P1 all the way down to P20. You score 1 point. And in the sprint race, top 10 will score from 10 to 1, and then 11 onwards they all receive a consolation 1 point because, well, we feel it's fair enough to encourage some competition, and you don't just get discouraged. Fastest lap points are also awarded for sprint this season, which should help drivers to at least get another consolation point if something goes wrong in the sprint race. So, at least there's something. That's also an extra opportunity if you're in the P10 onwards, because you only score 1 point, you get an extra lap. Extra fastest lap, you get an extra point there. So all to play for in the championship this seasons, and we are almost ready to head into the main race here. All drivers should be heading into the pits by the 50-minute mark, and then we will be proceeding to the grid on for the main race, which again we'll have a 2-minute pause as usual, Nick. And
hopefully no one accidentally unpauses it. We'll have to see. But
we're still
10 seconds
waiting
to go
for
to this
someone to
session.
do that, isn't it?
I prefer if drivers are smart enough to not do it, and also I just prefer if the game will give you a timer. But hey, we're in Codemasters, can't demand too much, or also we're gonna get bugs, more bugs. But hey, drivers are starting to get in. I was just about to ping the grid, but I think everyone understands what they're supposed to do, and they're slowly retiring. So I'm not gonna ping them, and we'll be ready for the next session in a few seconds' time. As we see MacD, the last driver on the grid, slowly, hopefully going back into the grid as he does, as well as I think that's the Mercedes of, no, that's the Aston Martin of Tomo, I think. But who's the last guy out there?
There is no one else on track apparently, or is that?
No, there's one. There's a
There is
Mercedes on
Ellen.
track.
Hello, Ellen. You're supposed to be back in the pit lane by 50 minutes.
Alright,
Thankfully we
let me
still
go
have
ping
a 2 minutes. We call it a grace period, right? In case you miss the timer, you get into the pit. Otherwise, post-race penalties on your way. So yeah.
Hopefully Alan remembers as everyone retires.
Yeah, I remember him asking early on in the voice chat before the race began. He was saying, "Oh, are we going to practice for 60 minutes?" Nah, sir, we are only practicing for 10 minutes. Should be back in the pit lane by the time the clock hits 50. Grace period until 48 before you are given a post-race penalty here. Unfortunately, that is a on-track retirement, but we'll have to take that case by case if someone reports it. Tomo and Follet as well, if you could give them a reminder, and we'll be ready to proceed to the next session.
And Tomo is the last person. They're stuck in the pits. I think they just haven't retired. Yeah, as they do. All right. Oh no, I thought they retired. All right, let me ping them out. But yeah, it's interesting that the times on practice. Obviously, it's not gonna be representable, but it's good to see different tires getting used in practice. Not sure, will they actually affect their tire choices in the race?
Thankfully, no. Practice tires do not carry over to the qualifying or main race sessions and whatnot. So there we go. Tomo is for some reason leaving the pits. There we go. Okay, he's retired.
No, they forgot to retire.
Perhaps hitting the wrong button. It happens to the best of us. And within the grace period, everyone has managed to complete the session. I love this when everyone's on time. Not the usual Malaysian fashion like we like to call it, the Malaysian timing being late, but we're trying to set a new trend here to be on time as Malaysians.
On time?
And Asians in general. Apart from a minute or two delay, that's expected. We can call it traffic. But nevertheless, that is not your grid for the sprint race. The sprint race strategy has been set in the session itself. We will have a reverse grid sprint race, and that is going to be the best part probably of the weekend. Hopefully, we will see a lot of action, a lot of wheel banging, perhaps side by side, desperate lunges, different tires as well. Soft versus mediums is usually the battle for the sprint race. No pit stop mandatory in the sprint race, so it's flat out 10 laps from the start till the end.
But you also remember that 10 laps. Some might want to gamble with the soft tires, just because you're able to, but given how hot Miami is and also how demanding Sector 2 is, is that rain? It's gonna be very interesting to see how it goes.
I'm so tempted to just launch my telemetry tool right now while waiting. Just
do it.
It works out, yeah.
It's gonna break the game just because of your luck. We're gonna see rain. Maybe not. We'll see. As the drivers are getting ready for The sprint race, we have a 2-minute timer. Unless someone accidentally hits it, we'll be able to see the drivers getting on the grid. But as Delvin gets his telemetry working, I might actually just tell you the starting grid. We'll have Zachwin in P1, Zanubi at P2, Ronald coming in P3, McLaren Senna in P4, Totally Not Ernest in P5, Kenrick in P6, Foliet in P7, Hidir in P8, Naufal in P9, Raiden in P10. 11 will be Bagas will be taking 11, Switz will be taking 12, and Sharis will be taking 13. This is the reverse grid order from last week. And then after that, we'll slowly add in the drivers that don't have points, which is Ayman, Haikal, Flaky. Then we will have the reserve drivers, Realis, Tomo, Ellen, and McD, all coming in, and AJ, due to them serving a quali ban, they'll be starting at the back of the grid due to an incident that has been reported from last week. It's going to be a very interesting race to see this week.
Like
hopefully things go well. Oh, as
yeah, looks like we are already kind of early here. 5 lights are out, but it's still not going.
And
a lot
of
drivers
jump start.
Jump start. That's unfortunate already in the sprint race.
No,
and
that's a safety car
immediately. So
what happened?
There seems to be a bug in the game. Then I guess if the safety car has been called out so early
Is that a red
now.
flag? Do you want a red flag this session?
Oh boy, this will be a pain. Let's quickly get the driver consensus. What's going on out on track? If it is a glitch, we will have a quick restart here. Otherwise, we'll proceed. But 3 drivers have gotten jump starts, so we're just going to identify if those 3 jump starts are legit because the drivers jumped the start, or is it because
you might need to consult on that one because I'm not familiar. I might just talk this through the safety car while you do that.
Right.
But it's very interesting to see we had 3 drivers jumping the start. It is a very long start grid. In real life, you have seen the FIA basically default the start of the race, and we have to have another formation lap. But unfortunately, due to some weird issues, we have a safety car and 3 drive-thrus. This is a bit weird. I think Delvin's gonna slowly take a look at it as we see the drivers start to bunch up on the grid. It's gonna be very interesting as you see drivers here with different tires, with softs, mediums. It's gonna be really weird to see how the drivers will react to this as you see Zachwin very close to the safety car. To be fair, you don't have to be this close to the safety car. It'll be very much of a pain if Zachwin accidentally hits the safety car because you get penalized for hitting the safety car in F1. But the drivers, as you see the safety car.
Okay, safety car in this lap already because everyone is bunched up. And don't see any issues being raised in the Discord chat, so we'll assume this race will go on as expected. And unfortunate for the 3 drive-thrus though, because they definitely look like 3 drivers who were in close proximity there, 14, 15 and 18. Perhaps one person actually jumped the start and spooked the other 2, which is something real that could happen. But away we go for the restart, or you can call it the restart now. Zachwin leads away, and here we go. A rolling start. It's as safe as it gets, Nick.
Yeah, it's very safe here as we see the drivers coming in from turn 1, Zachwin already into turn 3, taking into very long sweeping right-hander coming in too, ready for turn 4. Not much changes to the positions right now on track, but we'll have to see later as the 3 drivers serve their drive-through penalties. We see here as Zanub barely makes the corner there. I think that they're struggling on making sure to keep themselves on the track. Zachwin going a little bit slidey, coming into the very long straights, turn 9 into very long straight to turn 11. DRS still not open yet, but Ronald taking position from Senna.
Yellow flags. Full double yellows on the entire track. Is that another safety car, I wonder? Because
there is a car. Alan is still driving, so what happened here? What is happening?
What is happening indeed? That's the question.
Is that a safety car?
It might just be a virtual safety car because I don't see a safety car out on track right now. So that would only mean it is a virtual safety car being deployed right now. And it is, there you go, we get confirmation. It is a virtual safety car and it gets disabled real quick. It's green flag straight away. So hectic opening 2 laps here. No DRS just yet, of course, with the safety car on lap 1. So we'll only have DRS enabled on lap 4 instead, right? And already into into the final corner, we can see Rono there trying to make a move on Zakwan for the lead of this race. This is Rono's sprint race to lose, and he's trying to make the best out of it. And into turn 1, we might be seeing a move coming in on the inside here.
Oh, yeah, fastest lap for Rono right now, 1:38.1. But I think it's not going to be long for Rono to overtake Zakwan. It's going to be pretty easy, but you have to make sure that they account for the speed difference that Zakwan might have because of their skill difference. This is going to be very interesting to see. Hopefully, Rono accounts for that and not just push the car right into the back of Zakwan. That will be another yellow flag to happen. But seems to be going smooth. They will have a good opportunity to come here. Starting to overtake at turn 9 as they do right at the back of Zakwan right now. Hopefully, he doesn't close the door. Almost side by side. Barely gets squeezed out right now, but we're able to deploy enough energy just to do the overtake, and they try to do it on the outside coming into turn 11, and just side by side as he does make the overtake. I think a little bit pushed there, but Zakwan is still not giving up, and they slides into the wall.
That's his front wing gone, I suppose. And here into the middle.
I think it's just a little bit, just a small end plate at most.
Oh my god, a lot more banging going on there. The chaos that we expected for the sprint race, it is happening. The reverse grid sprint race is all kicking off right now. Drivers trying to make up positions, defend positions as well. Right now we have a Ferrari 3-4. Never have we seen this good real life results from Ferrari in Miami, to be honest. But here we have in the game at least, so we can savor that for the best. Folliard making his move around the outside now.
Oh my god.
A Ferrari power on another Ferrari power, followed around the outside, couldn't make the move on Zanubi, defending it well. Rono, who takes the lead, sets the another fastest lap, and there you go, a flurry of fastest laps coming in. Sharis with 31.4 this time. He's already up to where is Realize? Realized?
Oh, P3? There's a yellow flag in sector 3.
Oh, that's I think
another yellow flag
down the grid.
No, that's Tomo in the grid. I think there might in the pit lane there might have been some issue.
Zakwan has lost it in turn 3 there, so he's down to P13. And Tomo has picked up a 5-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Misery on top of misery for him. Drive-through penalty at the start, and now he has a 5-second to add on to his name. I wonder what's happening to Azwan Jupri though, who was supposed to be making up positions. I think he might have picked up damage here. He's all the way down in P19.
Yeah, I think Azwan was the driver that was stuck at the pit lane entry, so not sure what has happened there. But I think as you see, very hectic. As you see, oh my god, is there going to be a spearing there from the drivers? This is very chaotic coming into turn. Oh, as you see, another bang. Oh Jesus!
Whoa,
guys,
that was a little ambitious by Folate, I suppose. But Sharis, being the experienced one, I suppose he's going to blast past. Perhaps got a illegal overtake there. Oh, he's just waiting for ERS here. Raiden goes through for P4 right now, while the Ferraris are steaming ahead. Let's watch the battle among the Ferraris here, 1 and 2. 2 and 3, my bad. They are going side by side here, and this time Senna gets the better of his teammate Kendrick here, battling away for P2 right now.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see all of them fighting for positions. It's definitely very hectic. That's one thing that I think drivers don't like about Sector 2 is the very narrow corners of 13, 14, 15, and 16. Just makes it impossible to fight for any positions as Sharius tries to defend his positions while trying to catch up on the remaining grid. Sharius definitely wants to get in front of the rest, especially the fact that Foley is right in front of them. Definitely is not happy about that for the moment, but hopefully we'll see Sharius just makes a clean move against the two of them. Oh, Nafal.
Well, there you go. Now fastest lap. Yeah, fresh soft tires there. I'm presuming from a pit stop, and he's gonna steal that fastest lap point for now. But we are back on the battle here for P3 right now. Shar is already caught up to the back of the Ferraris there, and he is boxed in. The Ferraris are doing a good job here.
Oh, and there's a punt in the back.
That's definitely a punt. And then look at that, Foley now trying to look for a move around. 2x2 they go into this Mickey Mouse section. It's not gonna go well. Someone has to yield, and looks like Sharis has to take to the runoff again. Has been forced wide there. He maintains his P4 now. Double Ferrari overtake. Can he do it on this straight?
Yeah, but drivers also need to remember to not deploy the barriers too much as well. You can only regenerate so much if you're deploying so many. So Sharis has to make sure to recover their energy just enough just so that they don't get caught out, as we have a very long straight here in Miami as well. Oh, as you see, the car almost going sideways there.
Yeah, that is
I think
Scientist trying to... Kendrick and Sharis. Oh, okay, back to the battle in front. Yeah, Sharis makes an easy work of Kendrick. And also we see Hidera and Scientist, two drivers who have been going head-to-head for the entire season. Last season and this season as well. Well, it's only been one race this season, but there you go. Side by side they are trying to battle out. Red Bull versus Aston versus Mercedes there into this tight corner here now. It's all going to be single file here. Who yields? Looks like no one wants to yield just yet. The Ferrari gets a hit. Not the Ferrari. The AlphaTauri finds the opportunity to go around the outside of both the Red Bull and Mercedes there. Gets ahead. That is release, whichever you may call it. Getting up to P9. Scientist and Switch still battling it out here, both within DRS here, crucially, and looks like the Mercedes might have a little bit edge on top speed here, but Scientist has the DRS advantage as well to defend himself, forces the move. He still keeps his position so far. Bagas and Folliot now going for moves here. It's still so tight around here, and that is Williams tapping the Alpine around. Not exactly what you want to see. This is exactly the chaos that we wanted from this rig race. Not sure how drivers will react to it at the end of it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of fireworks coming our way and in the chat after this. But yeah.
Is this what we wanted though? It is chaos. It is very entertaining for drivers, but for the viewers, but it's not the fun for the drivers, I would assume.
Like Liberty Media does, it's all for the entertainment, right? And we're trying to make our own entertainment right here. Trying to spice things up as well with all these funny formats. Folliot now under attack from Scientist. Scientist gets through. Switz tries to make a double overtake on the inside, and we are missing all the action now. It is a 4-wide battle into turn 1. It is battle all over the track, and we are still getting lost lap after lap here. All the while, Rono has pulled off a 5-second gap early on, and Charis is trying to catch that. He's up into P2 right now. 3.7 seconds, 3 laps to go. That's doable if you're Charis, but Rono knows what needs to be done. Oh, that's an Aston Martin running wide. That is Hide running super wide there and almost into the barrier there. No grip out there, sir. And Switch takes advantage of that to get up to P9 here. Folliot also trying to make a move on Scientist right now, so disadvantage for Scientist who doesn't have DRS. Switch is boxed in. Where is he gonna go? Is he gonna go to the left, to right? He goes down the inside on the left hand side, but Folliot sends it around the outside and now gets the inside left. So brilliant defending there by the Haas driver to keep the rest of the pack behind.
Yeah, it's definitely very. Second twos have been very messy this entire sprint session, but I think that's one thing that I have to critique about this track is that as much as it's fun to drive as a sprint race, as a hot lap track, it's just a bit too tight to overtake. But that hasn't stopped any of our drivers here trying to make an overtake. As you see, Bagas trying to make a move on McLaren Senna. Senna keeping the P5 position right here, but has a compromised exit as we fight against Realist right now in P4. It's going to be very interesting for them to see coming into turn 2, but still maintaining the position of P4, 5, and 6 for now.
Yeah, and that is very close to tapping the AlphaTauri's back end there. Senna keeps it clean so far. Down to P5 though, but it's a really good position so far for the Ferraris. 3 and 5. Shara is now within 2 seconds almost of Rono with 2 laps to go. So it is possible that Charis might get Rono at the end here, but we'll have to catch back on that shortly. We still have a long train here led by Senna here in P5. Bagas, Switz, Folliot, Hide, Scientist, they are all in this train. One slip up or one mistake by anyone and then everyone's gonna pounce on you. Looks like Senna is gonna be the first one that's gonna be pounced on, and Bagas is going to take advantage of that around the outside, takes a long way around with DRS and takes the P5 away. Switz now tries to brave it around the outside. The medium tire is definitely coming into their own. A little bit of wheel banging there, just clean as you like. And the Haas and the Ferrari going for it as well into the Mickey Mouse section. Senna keeps it ahead for now.
Yeah, it's definitely very interesting here. One small move and one defending move, and you're left out into out wide to dry. It's basically like go-karting. You have to make sure that you're in the racing line. If not, you will get eaten alive right now. As you see, Really trying to make a move on Kendrick through DRS. Can he make it right now? On yes, he can through DRS section, but Kendrick braking better than Realis. Takes on the position back, but
oh wow, okay.
Realis has a good run.
Beautiful run out of the last corner there. Despite having a compromised entry and exit. So perhaps the soft tires are really dead right now. and it's the medium tires all the way till the end. Speaking of which, we still have the battle raging on for P1 coming soon. All over the place as well. Magdi, who's making a stand-in appearance this week, he is in P13, now behind Raiden Shogun as well.
Caution in Sector 1.
Caution in Sector 1.
There's a Williams. Not sure which Williams it is. It might be Naufal actually coming, who has spun, but slowly recovered. Coming to this, which is alright. Bagas is not the car that we are.
No,
it's not.
That is Rono
That's
who
Naufal.
has made a mistake apparently, because look at that.
Really?
Rono is now
Oh, yeah.
5 seconds behind Charis. So that has handed the lead over to Charis, and Rono now will have to settle for P2. Question is, how
was
much
that
have he
contact?
destroyed? Oh, I hope not, because that will be the ugly way to win a position. But we're back on the battle here between Kenrick, Switz, and Bagas for P4, and Folate has joined them as well in P7. So it's a long train here, something that we always see in these F1 games. But you know, it's coming down to your skills to make move in these trains. Right now in DRS train, on this long back straight, it's looking pretty difficult. No rain just yet, apparently, says the telemetry. So that's good. Switz and Kenrick going side by side. Switz takes the outside. He's a little bit slow on the exit, but Kenrick with the soft tires can't make up any position. Bagas now gets a good exit, gets the DRS. Will he go on the inside or outside? He goes around the outside. Kenrick leaves him the space now into turn 1. Outbreaks himself, but yeah, locks up the rear, and Kenrick takes the inside once again. Keeps his P5 for now, and side by side with Folate, Bagas will go.
Yeah, both soft tires right now are just struggling very hard to make sure that they stay on live. As you see, some drivers, I think that's
Folate, yeah.
Oh, there might be contact between the two of them that caused them to spun out, but we'll have to see later. But very unfortunate, a little bit messy this time around. But mainly, it's just very chaotic with how the reverse grids usually are. Unfortunately, especially and you know, it's already very messy in GT cars. Definitely more messy here in F1.
Yeah, and we'll cut back on to the final few corners here of the battle. We have Realis mounting an attack on Rono. It is the last lap of the sprint race, so Realis is in a good position here to make the overtake on the back straight. Rono doesn't have much to defend as well. It might just be a little bit of damage there, perhaps a little bit on the wing. It's not so visible from here, but you can see with the DRS, Realis trying to do his best. He's not being able to pull alongside, but now he does on the inside. Charis will come across the line to win the sprint race. Once again, he does it as usual to remind us he is the champion. He's going to defend it. Now across the line, side by side, they were on the exit. Realis will just get the edge and finish in P2. Rono in P3. Switz recovers well from the early start. Up to P4 he is. Bagas in P5, Kenrick comes on in P6, Hider in P7, and we have Scientist coming up to P8. Senna in P9, Folate in P10. Zenubi defending off Magdi for P11 there. Raiden will come off in 13. Alan making his reserve appearance for the first time in 16. So good job from him as well. Naufal will come in 15. Ayman in 16. Flaky in 17. Tomo, who's still at the back in P18, will come across to finish the lap very shortly. He will have that 5-second penalty, crucially for him. No driver around to haggle him for that P18. Aswan, no idea what have happened there. Perhaps some incidents early on, but you know, unfortunate to see the Mercedes driver of Aswan down in P19. We will have a good overtaking show, I suppose, from him in the main race, as we have 29 laps of main racing to go. Zakwan will, unfortunately, with those a couple of spins and incidents, will come home in P20, and stylish way to finish off the sprint race.
But we're not done just yet. It is just the sprint race. We still have the main event, as we see the AI of Zakwan trying to recover from the spin that they just gave himself. Driver of the day for Sharius right now, given that they have clawed their way back from P13 all the way to P1. Very impressive moves there. But we'll have to see what happened between Charis and Rono for the position. Definitely has something going on, or else I think Rono will not be pretty happy with the position. But hey, it's just a sprint race. We still have a main race to go for. And hopefully we'll have a good position in a bit. But as for now, these are your final standings for the sprint race, and we'll be going into the main session in a little bit.
Yeah, and we'll quickly take a look here though. It does seem that three drivers did get a jump start here. We are still wondering if that was I got spooked because of that guy jump started kind of situation, or was it an actual glitch, which can't be denied in this game, to be honest here. But yeah, only 5 pit stops here because sprint race, no mandatory pit stops, sometimes only wing damage and whatnot. But yeah, we are finally done with the sprint race. Only 10 laps because it is 33% distance compared to a normal full race. So we will now proceed to the main race, which will have 29 laps. And that is probably the more interesting part for today. As I'm trying to get up my telemetry once again, it seems to not be cooperating today.
As you see, the drivers are cooling down a little bit. They're starting to have a small little discussion, but I think most of them are focusing on the main event right now as we start to slowly go into the next session. I assume that the drivers will get their positions from the sprint race into this race.
Yes, exactly. So whatever position you finish in the sprint race, that is your starting order for the main race, which means Charis has taken pole position. He will start in P1 and likely finish in P1 by 30 seconds in typical Charis fashion here. Probably, unless, there's some godly interventions and safety cars and perhaps some rain, which we are still waiting for the good old telemetry to reveal if there's anything special going on today. But no, it seems like my telemetry does not want to respond as well today. So that's going to be a GG's in terms of the telemetry. We'll have to skip that for today. But nevertheless,
I think we should really think about asking EA what they're doing with the telemetry.
Well, EA. Imagine asking EA for good stuff. It happens never.
Yeah.
Well, for some reason it has cooperated, and we are early here. Someone has definitely jumped the start, and we have 5 lights off, and away we go. No jump start this time around, Nick, and away we go finally for the main race. And into turn 1, Charis takes the lead, and there you go, race won by Charis probably. Okay, so we have some drivers at the back. With let's go to the back of the grid where most of the action is. Ayman Haikal starting on the soft tires here. He will be making a flurry of overtakes around him. Everyone on medium and hard tires. Only him taking the aggressive route onto the soft tires here. A few positions being lost here at the early phases. Redden making up positions up to P11 here in the Alpine. And Foley up to P11 now. So Redden made a mistake there. We have early positions being swapped around. No DRS just yet. So early on, make all the moves you want so that you get better positions in the DRS train.
Yeah, I think a lot of drivers are right now compromising their lines from just a bit too aggressive when they're attacking and defending. You really want to make sure that you stay in the train just to make sure that you carry yourself as much speed as possible. Defending this early in the race really just affects your positions because everyone's so bunched up together. You have to think of it like you're in go-karting. Any small compromises in speed and you're left out to dry because of how close everyone is. You're just gonna be forced to not get back into the racing line, and you're just gonna get picked off one by one until you force yourself back in there. And I think just a few cars have had that happen to them, and it's just more work for them to slowly get back up into the positions in this grid.
Yeah, one driver who is making up the positions early on is Raiden here, as you can see, on the hard tires, starting on in, up to P10 now. So that is a good start for him. Up ahead, we saw a little peek of Ayman Haikal trying to go around the outside of Scientist. That did not work. Senna has spun, or is he into the pit lane? Looks like it. He is going all the way at the back. So presumably a little bit of a half spin or maybe some damage. I will find out after this what happened. Back to the action here. Still within expected range. Release here. Showing some good pace here on the hard tires. Keeping up with Charis. That's something we have not seen in a long while. Someone keeping up with Charis on the opening phases. So we heard from Raiden early on that he has raced with Release as well, and apparently he's a quick driver. How quick, we are about to find out this race, as Switz makes a position around the outside of Rono and up into P3 he goes, and there you
Very
go.
respectful for the two drivers.
Exactly.
Yeah, giving so much space. Actually, I prefer this kind of racing. It's good moves, and it's not compromising most of your times. It's a little bit respectful racing, and it's in their best interest to have these kind of moves, just because they don't want to get themselves pushed back into the train that they have right behind them. As you see right now, Fakey getting a 3-second penalty from corner cutting, as we just discussed earlier. Miami had a lot of twisty sections, and if you really are not that good in controlling your car through these twisty bits, you might get yourself too many track cuts from the game for your game's liking, and get yourself a track limits warning penalty.
Right, track limits will decide their fate at the end of the race. We turn our attention to the battle for P5 right now by Hidir, who is putting up a defense against Bagas on the medium tires. So Bagas is the first driver on the medium tires here, leading the default strategy, or I would like to call it. And then the alternate strategy runners led by Sharis and Release are pulling away. Switz is 2.5 seconds behind, followed by Rono and Hider in this train. So it is a long train here for P3. Last time out we saw a train for P1. This time we are seeing a train for P3. So might we see a battle for the position 1 and 2 separated furthermore by 3 onwards. It definitely looks like that. It's going to shape up that way as we have a move around the outside. Comes Bagas, attacks Hider and makes the move. Wow, okay, that was scrumptious. I'm lost for words, but tasty, yummy. That's all the words that you can give it. Beautiful move there by Bagas, making use of the medium tires early on with that grip advantage, and Hider trying to look for an avenue to go through, but nah, Bagas does well on the medium tires right now. DRS is enabled from this lap
Here's
onwards.
Here's a question I have. Which strategy do you think is the better option? Because at the end of the day, you have to remember that Miami is a very hot track. So is it better to keep your your hard tires up just so that you have a little bit more headroom, or do you want to push yourself in the medium tires just so that they just melt quicker in this very hot weather?
Well, the mediums will definitely give you an advantage off the start here, and the hards will keep you going for a long time. They are the tires that are known for longevity in this game. But, well, as we know, if there's no safety cars called out at all, the hard to medium strategy is definitely the faster way to go. Whereas the medium to hard is a little bit more flexible in case there's early safety cars and whatnot. We're about to find out, But either way, Miami is one of those tracks where, because of the low track grip, and then there's a big amount of tire degradation going on here, the 2-stop is also possible. If we get a VSC from now on, drivers will switch to a 2-stop and they will be faster than the 1-stop. I can vouch for that because I did that and I know that. But yeah, we are still looking on here at Bagas, who has outbroke himself, and that's a tap exactly. And I think he's doing the right thing there by letting him through again, but I don't think Rono is anywhere to be found. Rono is dropping all the way down to P14.
So he tried to slow down, but unfortunately he just spun Rono a bit too hard, and it's gonna be a very long climb for Rono all the way back up to where his previous position was. That's a bit unfortunate for them.
Yeah, bad luck strikes again for Rono this time in race number 2 here in Miami. Race 1 as well, he was going really good in the qualifying, but in the race incidents. As Bagas now we see finally making a move on here this time, kept it clean, so I think Bagas will have a little bit of a task here to get clear of the drivers behind. But no, look at that, Hidir is trying to mount an attack once again. Kendrick is waiting in the background as well. If any of these two make a mistake, we can see just behind them Ayman Haikal. Was he going for a move there? No, it is Scientist who's going for a move around the outside of Azwan. Side by side they go, and Azwan actually makes it through to P11. So try to defend that. Tomo now in P13 behind this pair. He will be looking to get past them very, very soon.
Yeah, a lot of drivers right now out of position from their usual pace, mainly because of incidents. But
yellow behind.
As you see another car in yellow flag, I think that's Alan again. Alan's definitely not having a good time in this track. Definitely struggling through these very long sweeping corners. It is a very hard track to master, and given they are all downforce cars, if you don't have very smooth inputs, you're gonna lose the back end. As you see drivers, Bagas trying to make a move on Hidir. Will he make it stick down into turn 12? I think that move has stuck. We'll have to see how Hidir reacts to this overtake. As you see coming down into the very tight sections, turn 14, 15, might have a small tap in the rear wing coming down into the back straight in turn 16. Bagas still holds the position, but for how long, I think we have to see in a bit.
Yeah, the medium tires are still quite a bit quicker here at the start, but Hidir with the DRS, he's not giving up. He knows he'll be on the better strategy as the race goes on, so he made the position up. Once again, steals back the P4 from Bagas, and this time around, and well, clean as you like, no contact. So I think that was really just a small mistake by Bagas a lap earlier, running into the back of Rono, and tried to let Rono through, but Rono spun out, and unfortunately when that happens, there's really nothing else you can do other than continuing on and accepting a penalty later on in the post race.
Unfortunately, just sometimes you just outbreak yourself. But unfortunately, we are in F1. Outbreaking yourself means a lot here compared to being in other disciplines. So drivers really need to be on top of their game 24/7 to be able to compete with the very best in this category.
All right, and hello to the chat as well. Sorry for ignoring, because there's been a lot of on-track action. We finally get a little bit of breather to read the chat. And welcome to our viewers as well. We have another yellow in the first sector there is, and that is Zakwen, who's having a little bit of a pirouette, looks like it, at the same part where he spun in this sprint race. And we have few more positions going. Okay, there we go. Three wide action once again into the middle sector of Miami. This is where it actually all heats up. Ayman Haikal now trying to get past this duo in front of him. He will have a little bit of trouble if he doesn't have enough top speed here.
Yeah, here's a question for you. Do you think the second sector is a bit too tight? I feel like right now, looking at the race itself, sprint as well as the main race, I feel like the entire sector of 13, 14, 15, and 16 are a little bit too tight for F1.
It is definitely very tight here. It is a single file sector. As much as we know, Aswan gets a poor exit. I wonder if that's some damage to his front wing. Ayman Laika looks like he might have lifted a little bit to let Aswan through. After all, they are league mates, in other leagues. So nice to see some teamwork going on there as well. Aswan trying to make up positions here. Down in P10, I'm assuming he will be looking to at least target for that P3 where his teammate is. Maybe Sharis and Release are a little too far off. Speaking of which, they are sticking with each other so far on in this moment here. Sharis in P1, Release in P2, and we may see a lead change here very soon. But we'll focus our attention here on Aswan, who is running a little bit low on deployment, using everything that he has to get past this Haas in front of him. He gets past Foliate. He's almost getting past the Williams as well of Naufal. Naufal is sandwiched in the middle. He sticks around the outside, now the inside, and Aswan is boxed in once again and will go into the middle sector, as it is in the previous lap, all bunched up.
Yeah, got hung out to dry right there. Unfortunately for him, Naufal was just having a little bit bad of an entry, and then just unfortunately just blocked AJ from doing any sort of move, and Foliate, not taking any chances, just closes the door right on AJ just to make sure that they keep the position as well.
There you go. We have a move there by the Haas of Foliate, making a move on Naufal for P8 there, and there you go. And behind him as well, we see Tomo and Ayman going side by side as well. Ayman on the soft tires right now. I think they're really starting to feel second hand. He'll be happy to be dragged along in DRS for as long as possible, possibly waiting on a safety car to get a cheap pit stop onto the hards or mediums. But the softs won't last any longer than it would. Side by side they go. Wow, okay, this is really starting to heat up between these two. Naufal and Foliate into the end of first sector here, heading into the fast sector. Naufal will stay ahead. Foliate will have to yield the position. I have a hot take on this track for Nick while these battles are unraveling. I feel the middle sector, where it's all single file, is actually a good sector, because it teaches drivers to back off, or you face the wall. It's that kind of corner. If you risk it, you're not gonna get it. But if you play it safe, you'll definitely get it back on the next main straight, which is a long DRS straight, which is the best overtaking spot, not the middle
theoretically
sector, but
yes
straight.
Theoretically yes, but as you see drivers in the MSRL, that has not happened. Drivers are still pushing their way into a two-way battle in most places, as you see here. They're coming in with a 3-second penalty. But I want to ask, did you realize I can't get another 3-second penalty?
We'll have to stop there, Nick, because for the first time ever, look what has happened here. We have a battle for the lead, and someone is actually battling Sharis there.
Let me cut you right there. I was gonna ask, did you realize that Reyes actually overtook Sharis on the lap before we were fighting on the looking at the other drivers?
Well, no, that's the good revelation there. We'll pretend that we saw the overtake happening on this lap. But yeah, finally a lead change here for the race in Miami into lap 9. We still have 21 laps to go, including this one. And realize finally realizes his potential, takes the lead. But look at that, Shar is
my
just
God.
sitting with that fat amount of battery in his diffuser at the back of his car. I think he'll take his time to chill. We have a few more things going on down there. It is Kendrick who has a little spin, and he is dropping down positions as well. Flaky is a little bit slow. Is he? Now he's being overtaken by someone coming out of the pits. It is Ayman Haikal, first one to jump into the pits. Crucially, comes out ahead of Flaky there. But no, it's pretty close here. Coming out ahead of Zanubi, my mistake. Important to be clear of driver behind you when you come out of pit lane, especially on those fresh tires. You don't want to make any mistakes. Speaking of which, he almost made one. And he's immediately going to be under attack by Zanubi on the exit. Taps
and that's a hit on
wall
the
as
wall.
well.
That is unfortunate. Drivers have to remember that as well, that coming out of the pits, your tires are not all that warmed up yet. You can't push it too hard as much as you want to defend the corners. You kind of want to remember that this, as much as you want to keep the position, it's better to just let them by and then just overtake them after, Just easier that way.
Back to the lead battle here. We see once again Realize and Shar is going side by side into turn 1. Realize will defend his position, albeit he's a little bit low on the battery side of things, so I think that's the only disadvantage holding him back. Raiden and Foliate going for it as well. On the pitch straight here, Raiden gets ahead. He will have to defend a little bit to get back into the position, but he does it with the DRS assistance. Switz, no, that's not Switz, that's his teammate Azwan trying to make a move around the outside of Foliate. So it is still going on, this battle. This DRS 4-man train is not being resolved here. I wonder if any of these drivers have considered a 2-stop, switch it up, get the faster tires, and then pull it off from there on, rather than wasting precious seconds here. And there you go, Tomo having a little bit of trouble there at the S section, goes wide, and that means Azwan is finally up to P9 there, almost missing out on DRS there. Tomo is not holding back as well. He is pretty close in the slipstream. He's going to benefit from it. He might go for a re-overtake here.
Yeah, but as you can see here, 10 laps into this race, and tires are starting to degrade. I think a lot of drivers are starting to struggle with their grip. That's why we see some of the drivers, Alan, Zachwin, Kendrick as well, just having small spins, because downforce, as much downforce as you have in this game, you also need a little bit. You also need the grip of the tires to make sure that you don't spin. And given how understeery the cars here are, it's most drivers will have a pretty neutral to pretty oversteery setup, and with the lack of grip, things are going to start spinning. And unfortunately for some of the drivers, they have definitely gotten caught out. As you see here, Bagas taking an overtake on Hidir, coming for P4 at the final corner. Both have been taking blows here and there, but Hidir might need to serve the penalty in the pit lanes, I think, which means that Hidir just needs to be close to them just to get the position back.
That will only be a 3-second penalty serve at the end of the race, added onto your race time. So that's fortunate for him. If it is, for cutting the track, you're being forced off wide, it's always appealable, as we have more battles going on here. Naufal now overtaking Raiden, or was it Raiden trying to attack Naufal? Yeah, it was Raiden trying to attack Naufal, and it's not over just yet. You mentioned just taking blows every now and then, and that's actually costed Bagas and Hidir quite a lot of time to switch. They are 13 seconds down on the top 3, which means pretty much the top 3 now have almost a full free pit stop to do whatever they want. And Realize here, I think he's made a mistake somewhere, or Sharis is trying to pull a gap here, because look at that, it's 1.5 seconds already. We have some more yellows going on at the back, and that is probably Zanubi. Yeah, he is having a little bit of trouble. That part of the track, coming out of turn 2 and 3, it's super tricky. One little look at the curve and sometimes it spins you off.
But yeah, and also you need to remember the fact that turn 1, 2, and 3 are very, very strong switchback corners. What that means is that you'll be swinging your steering wheel left, right, and then left, and right, left, and then right. And if you're not too smooth with your input, you're gonna send the car's back end around. And if you don't have the downforce for it, you're just gonna have to spin. And unfortunately for some of the drivers, they kind of get caught out a bit too fast there.
There we go. We see a move there for the Williams spare. Not the Williams spare, one of the Williams. It is Bagas now taking over the P4 position from Hidir. Next up, it's going to be his teammate Naufal, who is right behind Hidir as well. Blue flags there being waved for Zakwan, who is already a lap down after these multiple incidents in the opening part of the race. 12 laps in, and we finally see a break at the front as well. Shar is pulling off a 2-second gap to Realize. And perhaps it's a good time to jump in for a pit stop, but he is on the hard tire, so he will have to wait this out optimally. around lap 16, lap 17. So 4 more laps before the pit window really opens. 3 even if you want to go for an aggressive undercut.
Yeah, and I think some of the drivers are starting to see their issues with the tires. But as you were talking about how you're forming a gap from battling, I think that's some of the things that the drivers need to learn as they start to race more. Is that sometimes it's just not worth it to fight all the time. It's just better for both drivers to work it out. Having DRS aiding each other to catch back to the drivers in front. Because what is the point of fighting for P4 right now, where you could have worked together to fight yourself back into P3, or maybe even just to pull away from your position, just so that you don't have P6 right now for fighting in behind you, waiting for both of you to have a mistake.
But hey, entertainment, right? That's what we love over here in the comps. It's nice for the viewers, it's nice for us. As we can see, it's almost a 4-man train here. Double overtake there by the Williams pair. Have they finally done it though? Looks like one of them has done it. Hider is defending hard for his life here against the two Williams here. So 2v1, it's the worst kind of situation you want to be in, because when teammates gang up on one driver, it gets even harder to overtake rather than a 1v1v1. It's a 2v1 right now, as we can ride on board with Raiden here. We can make it a 2v1v1. As Raiden is trying to wait for a mistake here. He's still on the hard tires. He's binding his time here. Slowly through the
when you
section.
think about it, Raiden might want to do an undercut, given that they're right now in the fight for it. Why not just pit in early, get a different strategy, and just so that they could get a clear position in front? They might compromise on the strategy, but it's the only way to get track position here. If right now, if they keep on going on fighting like this, it's gonna be an issue for Raiden, because they're just losing so much time on Swits.
Exactly. Oh, that is some contact. That's Naufal has been in contact with was that Hider? Yeah, it is. Naufal and Hider had a contact there, and Naufal is down to P11. Well, we were talking about 2v1. That makes it a 1v1 now between the Aston Martin and the Williams. But nevertheless, I think Naufal will not be happy with that little spin there. He is down to P11 on the medium tires, so just about the right time for him to jump into the pits. I wonder why is he delaying the inevitable anymore. And speaking of which, back to the battle in front, we can see Hider now finally overtaking Bagas, and Bagas as well getting spun out. I was going to say getting spun out. Now he just ran out of space because Hider wants to pit. He wants to take the outside line there, and he goes for the undercut, and this is Bagas's time to attack for the in-lap. There we go. It is the time that everyone's jumping in. Hider is jumping in. Naufal's jumping in. Aswan's jumping in as well for the pit stop. So it is all kicking off right now. It's going to trigger a chain reaction here, I was going to say. And that's going to force everyone to jump into the pits if they want to respond to the position changes. Will you stay out for fresh tires at the end, or will you go for the track position now and defend hard later on? That's the decision that the drivers have to make right now on track. And as we can see, exiting the pit lane in P9 here is Azwan, who managed to come out in clean air. That's good for him. And Ayman Harkal behind him as well. Rono in P8 still going strong after that initial spin. Up in front as well. The gap is almost similar between Shari's release and Switch. So if anything, Switch is reeling in on realize there for P2 right now. Nick.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting for them to see how things get on with the pits. There's still trains of drivers in front of them. I think a lot of drivers want to have a talk with their competitors. I think Bagas will have a few chat with a few drivers, as well as Hidir, both seemingly missing out their braking points. I think drivers need to remember that you have a car in front. It's better to just not mess up your brakes, just so that everyone's happy. But unfortunately for some drivers, things have happened, and we'll have to see how they react to the unfortunate lemons they're given to life.
Well, speaking of reacting, Bagas and Tomo are into the pit lane. And unfortunately for Bagas, picks up a 5-second time penalty for spitting into the pit lane, and that is all the incentive Raiden needs. Patience was the name of the game. He was behind 3 drivers who were fighting it out, and now finally he has clean air. Probably a lap or 2 to push hard on his in-lap before he eventually goes onto the medium tires, the faster race tire to be on. So we might see Raiden come back at the end as well for P4, but I don't think he's going to make any more progress without any intervention from the safety cars today, because the top 3 have pulled out a full pit stop gap to P4 onwards. So it's a top 3 versus the rest of the world here right now.
I think that's very familiar with MSRL. We always have those faster drivers up front, but things can happen. We did see some spins here and there. The top drivers are not prone to have to issues, as you can see from Rano, from Raiden, from Foliate. So it's gonna be interesting. I think everyone's hoping out for something to happen, but we'll have to see as the time goes by. As you see, even on the board itself as well, so many 3-second penalties for track limits. I think that's gonna also play into effect on the grid, on driver strategy. How close do you want to be to your competitors, just so you can get within the limits of the time penalties. You see Realist and Switz both in the pits for tires. Are they going to get likely medium tires to go on to the end of the race?
Medium
Both
tires
quick
it is.
pit stops. Will Switz jump to try? No, he won't. So it's now down to Charis to see if he are able to make a gap, or can Switch catch up to Realist and secure P2 for Mercedes.
Good thing for them is they are out in clean air, so Switz now, he was just within 3 seconds of release, heading into the pits and coming out of the pits as well. Cold tires here, they have to be careful. A lot of drivers have been caught out on the outlaps on their cold tires, regardless if it's a soft, medium or hard. So that's definitely something playing at the back of their mind. Charis, who had that 4-second gap, has the luxury to stay out at least 2 more laps, to eat in, before release really starts to eat into the gap. But I think Charis will be responding in this lap as well to preserve his advantage as long as he could. Someone who has made a big jump through the undercut is Azwan Jupri, who started in P20, finished in P19, I think, in the sprint race, and now he's made up so many positions up to P5 already. And
but
with that
has
undercut,
AJ pitted?
He has exactly. He has pitted. Let's see. Yeah, only Rono and Charis are the only ones left on track, along with Zakwen, who has not pitted. So 3 drivers yet to make their pit stop. Make that 2 as Charis jumps into the pits. I believe Rono might be jumping in as well, and that's almost the entire grid done for pit stops for today. No interventions, although the skies are a little gloomy. No telemetry again. So we're just relying on entertainment factor here from what we see out on track. And Azwan, good job there by him to jump the bunch behind him, and up into P5 he goes on the hard tires though. So let's bring up the tire details real quick. He is on the hard tires. Oh, Raiden has disconnected, and that is unfortunate for him. So he's going to be losing positions as well. We were speaking about him, who's probably in contention for a P4 at the end, looking by the tires that he has. But looks like Azwan might be the guy here to steal P4 away. 3 and 4 for the Mercedes. Good one so far. Possibly 2 if Switz can close up on Realize. Rono here now into the pit lane. Let's see where does he come out after this pit stop. Last person to pit out of the front 10, and now coming out of the track, he is just going to be side by side with Naufal. Looks like he gets just ahead of Naufal, but Naufal will have that fresher, warmer hard tires for now. Rono will be under pressure heading into the back straights here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he's able to get the medium tires heat up as much as he could. Right now, Naufal though slowly closing in on the car, but as you know, the medium tire has more grip, as Rono just giving him a little bit more space just in case Naufal takes it on the inside. But both very close in terms of fighting. Foliate right now trying to make a move on Imaka on the outside. Can he make the move coming into turn 11? And he does right now into P8. Ayman will have to slowly think about what he wants to do to make sure that he gets the position back, and maybe get a 3-second lead just to make sure he maintains the position for P8.
Right, while the top 3 are sorting themselves out, we still have a battle brewing here for P4, with Azwan leading the train around here, running out of battery for sure. You guys can see from the rear light flashing. He's trying to pull away from Tomo, who is in P5, who is having the same H tires, just a lap fresher. Bagas also in P6 with the fresh with the same H tires as Tomo. So 3, 2, 2, 1 lap doesn't make much difference. But Hider down in P7, he has the medium tires, so he'll be closing in on this trio. That might be a battle to watch for heading towards the end of the race. Switz also reeling in on release already after the pit stops have concluded. So good shot for him to possibly steal a P2 here. And can they close up to P1? That's the ultimate question, which seems to be a difficult task to achieve this season, even last season.
Now here's a question for the 2 drivers. Do they want to fight for the position, or do they want to work it out and try to give each other DRS to catch up to Charis? I think that's something that they have to find a way to communicate between the 2 of them. and they definitely need to do it. If not, Sharius will have it's gonna just go away it's gonna run away very fast. You have to remember as well, Sharius does not use that berry at all during the race. I think if you look into Sharius right now, his berry is gonna be very full.
Yeah,
as he usually is.
Ready. He is ready for any attack. Realis is pushing. Switch just a little bit more. He's pushing as well. I think realistically speaking here, I think it's just P2 and P3 for these two drivers here, unless Sharius make a mistake, which he's never made one so far. It will be a first if he ever makes a mistake. But yeah, top 3 battle in their own world. Top 4, the best of the rest, you can say. Still going on. Tomo now starts to inch in on Azwan lap after lap with Azwan's older tires. We have a little bit of a side-by-side there. Hidir finally almost getting past Foliage shot there. Foliage defending hard, and now Hidir on the medium tires. Whoa, almost on touching the diffuser there. Now takes the outside line. Will he go on the inside? Will he go on the outside? He takes the inside line, and I think Foliage will not contend this up unless there's a lag spike that forces Hidir back.
That is unfortunate for the driver, but they have to find a way. There is some little bit of instability for some of the drivers here, as you see. Lag spikes happening for a few drivers, and it's just a little bit dangerous, especially for such a narrow track for Miami. So drivers have to be a little bit cautious.
Goodness. That was a good catch from Hidir. He was definitely going into Narnia there with that little touch in the curb on that long left-hander there. Slippery curbs here, definitely. Lost him a little bit of momentum, otherwise he would have made an overtake here, possibly pulled the gap with his medium tires in the twisty section, and up into P7 would have gone. We'll have to wait for another sector here, as Hidir now slowly, gingerly into the middle sector. He can see that Haas diffuser getting in closer, minute after minute, second after second, and he will try to go for it. Sharius, in the meantime, steals that fastest lap for now with a 21.115. That extra 1 point for his championship will come in crucial at the end.
Tomo's going to make an overtake on Azwan on this very long straight. But will Tomo make it stick though? AJ locking up this early into the race? Not sure what's happened there. Maybe just a little bit misjudgment on the braking. Maybe scared a bit by Tomo's braking. But for now, seems like going alright. Did Swiss disappear in front of them? We're not sure. But Naufal still fighting with Ayman as well for P10. Naufal coming into the pits.
Ayman into the pits. That's surprising. He did start on the soft tire, so it is a 2-stop strategy for Ayman Haikal here. Unfortunately, it's not gone as he would have wanted, but he will have the freshest tires right now. Soft tires to go on to the tires because, well, we had a sprint race, so we only have one set of medium and hards available in the main race, so he will be going on to the set of soft tires here, and possibly still the fastest lap. That is in the possibilities right now, unless anyone else.
But is it worth it though?
That's definitely worth it, I suppose. 1 point for the championship with McLaren, and looky who's his teammate. It's Sharius up in front. So either or, if it's McLaren getting a point, I'm pretty sure they'll be happy for it. Question is, do you want to prioritize your faster driver? That's always a question to be answered by the team, not us, I suppose. But we can always speculate about that. Ayman this time around coming out onto the track in sector 2 with the soft tires, pushes hard to stay away from Flaky, who is on that one stop on that old tires.
Yeah, he just got a 3-second penalty for track limits as they're still battling, trying to get close to Foliate. Track limits are still starting to mount up. As
that
you
is
see,
Flaky running super wide, and Alan
I think just trying to get out of the way of Alan. I think they're just trying to sort themselves out. Don't want to get into each other's way. But yeah, with drivers trying to get more and more track limits penalties, you really have to think about how close your competitors are. If you're a bit too close, if your competitors are a bit too close and you just get penalties, there's no point fighting for a position because you're just gonna get more and more time penalties added onto you. So it's important for drivers to, make sure they drive cleanly, make sure that they don't get much penalties here, just so they don't have to worry themselves and just throw away the positions just.
And speaking of which, we ride back on board with Hidir. Finally, once again, can he get his chance this time around? Gets a little loose, but much closer this time around. 5 times is the gap. Will he want to go for an overtake this time around? Foliate seems to be doing a good job on the straights at the very least. Probably a very low downforce setup here, which is why he's been able to keep ahead of Hidir, despite Foliate having all the tires here. A little bit of lag spike going on as well, and Foliate running a little bit sideways. Is it Hidir? Is it Foliate who is going sideways? We don't know.
I can't tell.
Exactly. And we'll hold that for a moment. It is probably Foliate who is lagging quite a bit, and he has disconnected, which means we'll have to quickly re-invite him as he is on
that is
PlayStation.
unfortunate for the driver.
Unfortunate
Seems
for
to be an
sure.
issue.
But I suppose Hidir will take that free position away after 2 or 3 laps trying to battle away, and he has his sights set on to the next driver ahead.
That is hoping for the fact that Foliate might be able to come in, as we have some issues in migrating, it seems. But that is a bit unfortunate. We'll have to see how fast he's able to recover from this. As you see Hidir making no time on taking advantage of it and just getting the back of Ronald. Can he get an overtake on Ronald as soon as possible though?
Oh, big snap that looks like it. And I think that's something drivers have struggled in this track, particularly today. Snaps all over the place. It is a very low grip track surface, so running a little bit wide off track, off the racing line, running onto the curbs in a suboptimal angle will put you off.
Almost gonna have that move.
Tomo and Aswan, a battle that will rage on till the end of the race, looks like it. And this time around, Aswan gets the advantage, holding on to P4, which he retook from Tomo just a lap ago. Now and Foliate as well in P9 and 10. They are going side by side. It is now Foliate overtaking Foliate's disconnected car. Let's give it another attempt to re-invite Foliate back into the game, and hopefully he will have a good recovery from here on.
Yeah, it's definitely very unfortunate for Foliate to have these kind of issues mid-session, but that is part of the game, unfortunately, for F123 at least. Hopefully, F124 is going to have improvements to this, but
excuse me, that was just a non-random cough that happened to come off after a long hour of commentary. Anyway, Tomo and Aswan are battling it out for P4 here. Both Mercedes powered cars here. Mercedes 3 and 4 right now, as good as they could get so far, and definitely a good case for their championship hunt in the constructors at least. We spoke about in the first race Aswan and Switz being on similar pace level, and I think the race results so far has been proving it. Aswan making it all the way from P19 up to P4, and now he's having to hold off Tomo as well, and Tomo is doing his best as well not to get Aswan run away. And so far it's been working well. Bagas in P6, I think he might have dropped off a little bit there with tires starting to age on those hard tires. Rono and Naufal, looks like it. Naufal.
I just realized Raiden's P19. What happened to Raiden?
Oh, Raiden in P19. That might have been a disconnection from Raiden early on. Oh yeah, he did disconnect and he was not able to rejoin.
That is unfortunate.
One of the beautiful features of this game once again, giving us the ugly side. Good race was going on for him. He was in target in hunt for a P4 earlier on, but now looks like P19 is the best he would be achieving today. Back in front, we still have a battle going on for P4 here. Tomo and Aswan. We're heading into the last 5 or 6 laps of the race, so it's really going to start becoming more strategic here. There's no one ahead of them to hunt for. It's all about this P4 battle right here. Clean air for them. You don't have to look back that far, but you have all the track ahead of you, no mistakes, and the P4 is yours. That's what I think these two drivers are thinking about. Just slightly ahead, P3 switch slowly but surely. He has closed in on the gap. 3 seconds was the gap, leaving the pit lane early on in lap 16, and now Switz has closed that down to 1.2 seconds. So I suspect by the end of this Mickey Mouse section, he's gonna be within 1 second. Let's ride on board with him for a little longer as how he tackles this tricky section here.
Yeah, can he be able to stay within the 1 second within at the DRS detection zone? I think unfortunately for this lap, no. But it's getting really close. He really needs to think about if he wants to push it as hard as possible or maintain his tires for the end of the race. We have 5 laps to go at this point, so it's really up to anyone's game at this point. As you see, what was that? A driver getting ghosted into it. I think that's a lap car off. Is that Zanoop? I think that's Zanoop, or is it Flaky getting from AJ?
That's on the soft tires as well. For sure, he's gonna try some cheeky things right there. But yeah, the battle between Aswan and Tomo is still going on. Aswan seems to have finally recovered some battery after the entire first stint, making up positions up to P4. So that's the struggle that he's had to go through. Using battery to make up the positions. Now you're running a little bit low on battery to defend, to attack even. So does he call it a day, keep it in P4, bring it home safely, or does he want to risk it for that P4 at the end there? We'll definitely find out the answer. This battle is not going far away. Another battle that is about to begin is the battle for P2 on track, which is between Switz and Realize. And Switz now finally gets within DRS and is Realize getting a little bit a dose of DRS there from the lap car, so that's definitely helping him. Both drivers are now under 10% and they're definitely pushing the limit. It would be advantage Switz in this position right now. Bagas has disconnected and we'll have to wait for him to rejoin as well. That was going super well for the Williams so far, but he will be rejoining us shortly. Now back to this action here.
Unfortunate for drivers. Back to the action. Switz right now coming back slowly into the back of Realist. Now no no.
We'll have to hold that thought. That is a safety car. That is a safety car. I was just watching.
You need to invite who back again? Sorry.
Let's try to invite Bagas back again. Since there is a safety car. Oh boy.
As well as Lemon Boy. Bagas. As well as Foley, I think.
Foley has rejoined the session by the looks of it. But Bagas seems to be offline, so that's unfortunate. Let's try to see the list if he's still around. No, unfortunately, he's not in. Let's try one more time. Safety car is out next, so let's focus our attention real quick to that. With 4 laps to go, I think this is a good time for everyone to jump into the pits, take a set of softs, and go till the end.
Actually,
not advisable to stay out for sure.
Got one question. What happened that caused that triggered the safety car?
Yeah, I believe that might have been a contact between Azwan and the Aston Martin of, what's that, Tomo? There was some yellow flags going on the back straight heading into the Sector 2 Mickey Mouse sector, and suddenly, out of nowhere, I think things might have happened, and we saw a yellow flag coming out. Not sure if that was because of incidents or someone trying to play DRS chicken or something happened, but you can see the Aston Martin does not have a front wing there, so something definitely happened for sure that triggered the safety car, which means now we get a reset here. Everyone will be stopping for the soft tires, but
not everyone but Sharis.
Yeah, exactly. Why has Sharis stayed out? That is the big question right now. Has he missed the safety car when it came out? Did the safety car come out a little too soon and he caught up to it before he could, get past it? That might have put him on a disadvantage, which means it is going to be probably a good shot here for Rayleigh and Switz to steal the win away. Either or, it's going to be a new winner this season for sure. If Sharis stays out on those old medium tires, I believe he's going to have a hard time here on the restart. Interesting choice here as well from Bagas, who, well, he is still disconnected, so he's not joined in yet. Naufal deciding to stay out as well in P5 there on the old hard tire is not something that you want to do unless he's trying to extend his lap as long as possible. It's already lap 27, so we're gonna have the safety car coming in. It's already lap 26, my bad. So one more lap of safety car. Drivers will have to rush back to join the queue because it's only 2 laps of racing from here on at the very least if they do not rejoin the queue. So top 3 as you see, Sharis, Realize and Switz, and we are waiting for Bagas to rejoin. Let's give him a quick invite in case he's still around. Unfortunate disconnections there, but game is game. Let's see what we can do during this off time here, Nick. So safety car restart. Run us through what probably is running in your mind. How do you want to approach this?
If I were to be in a safety car restart, I definitely want to make sure my tires are warm. But it's also, you need to really start counting down the amount of laps you have. You need to really think about what corners are the corners that you really want to do the overtake on. That means that you need to make sure what corners you want to make a good exit on. You want to make sure that you're not fighting for the position at specific corners, just to make sure that you have a good run. F1 is more all about lunging into your drivers on the restart, so it's important to make sure that you get a good restart. Make sure that your tires are well in good temperature for the restart. And I think drivers, especially, you just need to count your luck, especially for now, Sharis, given that they have basically saved a lot of their energy. It'll be very crucial for them to just deploy as much energy as they could into the last few laps of the race. Right now, I think Realize and Switch both will be trying to get as much energy as they can into their batteries, just to make sure that they get all the energy they can getting pushed out into the final few laps into this race.
Right. We have 2 laps to go once the safety car goes in indefinitely at the end of lap 27 now. So that means 2 laps of racing, no DRS. It's all going to be all. I was going to say it's all brute force and all that, but very quickly we saw a Ferrari losing a front wing. That might have been Kenrick there, or was that Shane McLaren Senna who has lost a front wing from running into the back of someone. Now he will definitely be looking to get past his teammate on the restart here. Bagas, unfortunately, the disconnection is still not online, so he will have to accept his fate, I suppose. He there gets a 5-second penalty for collision under the safety car. That's not going to fare well for him in the restart. But now we'll have to focus our attention here to the front, where the action is about to take place. The restart is on, and Charis takes off like a bullet. But how long can he hold on here?
Oh, that's on P4. That is the lap car of, I think, Zach Win, trying to be on side by side with Switz, but Switz making a good run for position. P4 right now fighting with Bagas, both trading positions. Right now, Naufal taking a lead for the Williams. Aswan in P6 went on to catch up as soon as they could, and they did swap positions. Bagas now slowly falling back as Aswan gets P5. Naufal will be his next target right now. The rest of the grid, Rono still has his eyesights on Bagas right now, but realize still fighting for position for P1 in front.
Yeah, apologies there for the misclicks, but I was so focused on the battle for P1 here. Charis is so slow on the restart with the medium tires. 10 laps on medium tires right now, and realize he knows he has this in the bag, but he'll have to make the overtake at a crucial point where he can pull away. That has also invited Switz into the mix here. So top 3 not over just yet. Aswan P5. I think he can catch up to this train as well within a lap to go, but it's just a little far away. We've turned back our attention to the top 3 here. Charis knows what he has to do. Deploy the battery, defend for all his life here, all his might. He's defending, he's weaving, he's made one move, now he can't make any more. Realize, has to lift off Switz. Oh, gets spooked a little bit. Realize braking a little bit early, but there you go. Top 3, still fighting it out. This is the final lap, ladies and gentlemen. And we are heading into a cracking final lap. Charis on all medium tires. Switz still the fastest lap here. Goes down the inside, makes a move on Realize. Down the inside, and he makes it stick. And up into P2 he goes. Next up, it is Charis for the race win. Can Switz pull it off? Can Charis defend? Looks like battery is not a luxury for either of these drivers. Realize might have a little bit more than these two, but it's still pretty tight for the top 3 here, Nick.
Yeah, it's all about making sure you have the right positions. Make sure that you take advantage of most of the track as you can as you come down into the last few corners here in coming into turn 9. Yeah, there's still DRS from Realize with the battery deployment might aid them, but right now there's 3 cars coming out 3 wide into this corner. Oh
Charis
my god,
much. Around the outside, Switz goes. He takes the inside, he takes the lead of the race. Is this done deal for Switz? Realize tries to go around the outside and inside, and no, he fails. Switz might just pull off a gap here. Charis makes a mistake. There we go. He is defending hard. Realize, he knows it, he realizes it. This is the only run. Switz is away, and he's probably going to win the race. And on the exit, Charis does not have any more battery to use. Realize, having just a little bit more, he is going to pull ahead. This is going to be a last lap lunge into the last corner. Who's going to come out ahead, Nick?
Well, it's going to be very, very close as Charis slides very so slightly, but has a poor exit. I realize does take second place, and across the line is Switz.
It is Switz for his first win of this season after a long time. I think he will take that victory home. P1, P4 for the Mercedes. Well done there. Realize on his debut race as a reserve, finishing in P2. Charis, unfortunate there, or was it bad luck, or just misgambled, stayed out on the medium tires, finishes in P3. Oh wow.
Very unfortunate for Charis right now, as we see most of the grid slowly getting their way back into the final start finish straight. Zach win. Right now the last driver to cross the line, coming into the last corner here. It was a very eventful last 2 laps, I must say.
Indeed, I think that safety car definitely spiced things up towards the very end there, and that might have just give us some hope for a different winner, and we did get it. Courtesy of the, well, I don't want to call it a mistake just yet without looking at it in the post race. But let's invite our driver of the day, our top 3 winners, into the interview room as well if they are around, and any other drivers who are live and join us for the interviews. Give us a thought of your race. Let's watch this podium celebration for a little bit. As Nick, if you could just invite the drivers to join us.
I think you should be the one inviting the drivers, mainly because I don't know who to invite, but it has been pretty interesting.
Just ping everyone lah. Just ping everyone. Let's get the entire F1 Season 7 crew on board for the interviews today. I think a lot of drivers will have a lot of good things and probably some bleepable things to say today.
Yeah, it's definitely been a very, very fun race. As we see the drivers here coming in as the final standing: Switz in P1, Rilis in P2, Sharis in P3, Ronald P4, Azwan coming in P5. It's been very interesting for the Mercedes drivers. We have also Bagas in P. Oh, this is the.
Oh, this is the actual race. Oh, yeah. My bad. Getting confused with the multiple menus around here. There you go. Brilliant race there. Switch steals the fastest lap as well. So which is a
race director?
Bonus advantage for him. Yeah, exactly. And let's get the incidents real quick before we get busy stewarding after the race as well. But what a cracking race. Nick. I think the last safety car there definitely spiced things up. And now let's get some drivers in the waiting room if there are anyone around. Let's see if they are there. We have Switz ready in the voice chat, so let's bring him in. Winner of today's race, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Switz. Welcome back to the top step of the podium. Mercedes 1 and 4 there. Brilliant show by the team today, Switz. I don't have any question yet, but run it through what happened there at the end.
Yeah, at the end, there was like a sudden safety car, and then for the first time, I was like, "Oh, Sharis didn't have the lucky timing for the safety car, because every time there's a safety car, he always gets the gap to box, and then this time he didn't get the box. He didn't get the gap to box, and we just got lucky.
And it was luck and possibly some skills as well. It was really close. It could have been you, it could have been realized, it could have even been Sharis if he was, defending even harder. But the soft tires came in clutch at there. Would you have settled for P2 there if you had to? So it's today.
Oh yeah, I would have settled for P2 because really is really quick. Because I was watching them battle through the Delta. They keep switching positions as well, and I was hoping they would slow each other down, and they did. And for some reason, I saw Rilis is slowing down after later in the first stint. Probably something happened between the two of them, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I got one question. How was your race for the sprint race? Because the sprint race itself was also very chaotic.
It was chaotic. I had a collision with Noval. I don't know if he's gonna report it because my POV is like a racing incident. We didn't give each other space or side by side into a really tight corner. But we'll see if he reports it or not.
Yeah,
it was fun
pretty
though.
Good. And I was saying before the race, this is a quote unquote rigged race, right? Because we have a reverse grid sprint race, which it's looking good on the viewership side and the commentary, but it provides a lot of challenge for drivers as well, because the faster drivers or the ones who are leading the championships, they'll have to cut through the field as well, right? So once in a while, you get your skills tested. How was that overtaking experience today, coming through the field from the sprint race and the main race today?
Main race was kind of boring. I only did one overtake at the start of the stint, but in the spring it was really hectic. It was actually really fun, battling people around me. I kind of missed the battling here and there, the side by sides, the pushing each other off, and then giving it back. So it was really fun. Hopefully that can be the same for the main race in the future.
Right. And good news for you. We have 2 more sprint races coming in the middle of the season, which is going to be, Baku reverse grid sprint. That's always a fun track to race at. And we also have Well, I forgot the last one. It's probably Austria in round 9. So 2 more sprint races coming in the later part of the season. And next week we are heading to Imola, and it's all gonna. Next week we're heading to Japan, Suzuka, for a normal weekend. Hopefully, it's a lot more calmer in next week. So thank you for joining us in the comms box. We'll see you next week. So let's see if anyone
Thank you
else.
very much.
We have scientist who is ready to join us. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome totally not earnest scientist. How was your race today? Talk us through what actually happened in the start of the sprint race. I think there's a little bit of back and forth with a lot of drivers, a long train as well. There was a safety car at the start which really put throw some span in the works.
I mean, it went decent. I ended it off P8, I think. It was quite a good recovery from like the start of the sprint race. It was a really, really good battle because I think everyone was on softs, so we could just send it as hard as we want. And I think everyone did send it as hard as we want. So at least
Yeah.
it was really nice just sending it down the inside or like trying to defend as much as you want. So definitely it was very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and what about the main race then? We saw long trains, DRS trains, and then the safety car came out at the end. And what was running through your mind at that time? Do you want to, box or not box? I'm sure you boxed at the end, but would you have thought otherwise in your race preparation today?
I mean, in race prep today, honestly, when I went into the race, I wasn't that confident because even during the race, I couldn't get quite on top of the car setup. I think I made a tweak. I added one more click of downforce on the rear wing before the main race, so I think that affected the car balance a lot because I was sliding all over mid corner. I was either locking up and going into the runoff or like drifting. So I think that affected my pace a bit because I had like close to zero confidence in the car. But given like safety car, I think the main challenge for me was to join the safety car queue because I was that far behind. So in the end, I didn't, but Alan didn't behind me. So it's a good thing I didn't lose positions because I also had a 3-second time penalty. But obviously, it was very good because Miami being Miami with like the insanely long straights, it was really fun to hold up like Ronald and Flaky for like 5 laps. So yeah.
Well, that was definitely a overtaking show from a lot of you guys on the track as well, Ernest. And Nick, any more questions before we get the next person in? Raiden is ready for us today.
I don't have much. I don't have much right now.
All right.
So let's get Raiden into the interviews. Perhaps he's ready for an interview. Let's just pull him in and get his opinion on what happened today. So hello, Raiden. Welcome to the interview. It was going great until your pit stop. You were poised for a P4 today, but unfortunately, the disconnection happened. What was running through your mind at that time?
No, I was just trying to smash my PC at this point, man. I don't know, but at first I was trying to smash my PC, but then I realized that I'm not the only one who got disconnected. Several other drivers. I think the two Indonesian Williams got disconnected, if I'm mistaken. So yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the was it Bagas who got disconnected?
Bagas.
They were going
Bagas
really
got
strong.
disconnected.
I think you were stuck behind them for many laps. There were 3 drivers ahead of you. You played it patiently, and then suddenly when you got the chance, and then it all went away with the disconnection, right? But what was running in your mind at that time when you were behind the 3 drivers in a 4-man DRS train? Because it's not the easiest to get past.
I mean, I'm just trying to eat popcorn at the point. I'm just enjoying the drama and stuff because, trying to get when is the nice place to go and stuff. But I think I have an incident with Kendrick as well, so I do apologize for that.
All right.
But I haven't reviewed back what's the problem. But yeah, I'll see it later. But it wasn't nice to have an incident where someone has to drop back behind massively and had some damage as well. So it wasn't really a nice feeling. But all in all, it was really a chaotic race since I got taken out by foliage shot in the sprint race early on. I was also poised to get the podium at that point.
Exactly. Well, it happens. Incidents aside, I think you had a strong race this time around, and we'll hope to see better luck next time round in Japan, in Suzuka. So possibly to a little bit more, conventional racing with a normal qualifying and a normal race. So we'll hope to see you there, Raiden. All the best in your next race.
Yeah, sure.
Good
I mean,
luck.
thank you very much.
All right, and now let's get in MacD, who is also making his first reserve appearance for today. MacD, how are you? How was the race today? Did it go exactly as you planned today?
Hello, hi. I'm not so sure because there's a lot of chaos at the back, but how to say is a really recovery run by myself, and I try to follow for those who can bring me to back to the front. So
Uh-huh.
basically that's a really good recovery. And
Okay.
luckily was the safety car came out at the last 25 lap, I guess. So
Last
Lap
two laps.
25, yeah.
last two lap.
correct.
Yeah. So it's quite good for me to get in front of the grid. So yeah.
Right, Maggie. One question. Tomorrow you're having
Mm.
another race in AJ Clan. I'll be there as well. Watching over my drivers, and you're gonna be there probably with me or with some other drivers. So how do you think this has helped you to prepare for a similar race tomorrow? Expecting a lot of chaos as well tomorrow. What do you think about it?
Okay. For tomorrow preparation is quite impressive from my side because I did a lot of practice this week, and I did a lot of strat also to check whether my fuel consumption is there or not. My tires, the selection of tire itself. So yeah, I'm ready tomorrow, and I want to get my redemption race for tomorrow. Yeah.
I'm sure you will. Redemption for last week's race, redemption for today's race here. I'll be looking forward to that with you. And thank you so much, Magdi. So let's get one more driver into the chat. If that's either Tomo or Alan. Let's see if Alan would be ready to join us.
Yeah, Tomo's in
Thank you,
first,
David.
so I think Tomo will be.
Okay, so let's get Tomo
Yeah.
in. And hello.
Do you want me to let Ellen know that we're running out of time?
We'll give him the last 2 minutes then. So Tomo, hello,
Alright.
welcome back. First race for you in this season. First time appearing as a reserve. What do you make of this race so far? I know a lot of drivers have been making a lot of noise, incidents here and there. But yeah, what do you think?
Oh,
I think Tomo might be.
oh,
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Tomo. Hello, welcome back.
Hello. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. So, Tomo. So, your first race in MSRL as a reserve,
Yeah.
right? And I know you have been waiting for your opportunity last week. You didn't get it, and this time you got it.
Yeah.
But it was very, very chaotic out there today,
Very
right? I know. I'm looking through the chat as we are talking in the interview. There's a lot of incidents that will keep the stewards busy, but. Give us maybe one or two things that you would, take away from this race to improve on for the next race, if you get a chance.
For the next race, I will be watch attention toward the driver because, I have two incidents. First, Aswan Ferry hit me from behind
Aha.
when I give him space, and in the straight in the DRS area,
Was that the
Another-
one that brought out the safety car after that?
Yeah.
Okay. So Nick, there we go. We have the answer. What
Yeah,
caused
yeah,
the
yeah.
safety car?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was definitely unexpected. But it brought out the
Yeah.
safety car, and the race, suddenly changed from there, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
I was in before, and then I lost many position and lost forming. After the second incident, when the safety car in maintenance is left, when safety car in, someone hit me from behind. I don't know. I think-
Okay, all right. We definitely caught that. It was definitely one of the Ferraris who lost their engine as well. So unfortunate for them. But of course, if you did get a penalty, you can always appeal that to get removed. Stewards will be
Yeah.
looking into that. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, I think Tomo, good first race. I think because it was
Yeah.
a reverse grid sprint, you started at the back.
Yeah.
Finishing somewhere in the middle, I think was good enough.
Yes, it's good. I think.
I'll
I think
definitely
it's,
look forward to seeing you, in the next reserve appearance. So stay
yeah,
tuned for that and make sure you
I
join
hope.
us.
Yeah,
All right.
hopefully.
All
And
right.
good race for Aswan. I have good battle with Aswan and Bagas in this
I
race.
see.
And
Yeah, I mean,
I'm very
most of the
exciting.
race we were following you. I think Nick, you can confirm that as well. We
Uh,
were pretty much following you, Aswan,
uh,
the Williams pair. The battles were
yeah,
going on and it was non-stop. So
yeah,
it was beautiful to watch. Thank you for
yeah.
giving
Thank
us the
you.
entertainment. Hopefully you'll have a better race next time. And with
Yeah.
that, ladies and gentlemen, that would be the end of our interviews as well today.
Oh,
Yeah, and
Alan's gone. All right, never mind
Alan's
then.
gone, so no more interviews. So Alan will not be getting his 5 minutes of
Mhm.
fame today. But yeah, nevertheless, thank you everyone for tuning in. Nick, any last words before we head into Suzuka next weekend?
Suzuka is going to be very interesting. A lot of twisty corners, especially Sector 1. We're going to see a lot of overtakes likely getting done in the hairpin, the very famous hairpin. And then, especially Sector 3, the very, very long left-hander right before the small chicane at the back straight, at the start finish straight. That is going to be very interesting to see how drivers deal with that, as well as, as tire wear starts to go off. It'll be very interesting to see how drivers hold on to their racing. But for now, it's going to be end of the night for us. It's been fun to commentate with you, Delvin. I am Newbie. We are MSRL. If you like to join us as a community, not just racing here in F1, you can do so with the description. We have our Discord server link below, and you want to check out our SimGrid profile, you can actually check it out as well. That's where you sign up for any future events, F1 or ACC. And if you want to see us in any other social media as well, you can see we have our pages in Instagram as well as Twitter.
Or X, whichever you want to call it. And yes, thank you for the plug at the end there, Nick, Newbie. And we've been your host for today. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and goodbye.
Bye.